My friend, we seem to have now entered a season of great uncertainty, a season of unprecedented challenges. We don't know exactly how and when things are going to actually change. And most of us are actually fighting on a daily basis, just trying to survive and to keep our head above waters. And in this season of uncertainty, my only message for all the viewers out there, for the audience of a Mountain of Inspiration, is try as much as possible to develop a greater sense of resilience in the season, because you owe it to yourself to actually keep going, to keep moving, because I honestly believe that the best is yet to come. What awaiting for us, what awaiting you on the other side of the fence is actually greater than what you're experiencing right now. So if particularly you are in this position right now, where you don't know how you're going to actually make things happen as far as the future is concerned, where you don't even know how you're going to actually provide for yourself as far as the now is concerned, to put food on your table, then all I can say right now is that hold on tight. Hold on tight. Watch this video until the end. If you know someone in this position, find a way to actually share this video with them, because I'm trying my very best to actually do what I can do best, which is just to motivate you, to help you actually keep going, to help you actually keep moving, and to help you keep believing and hoping that the best is yet to come. All right? So just make sure you watch this video until the end, or if you know someone in this position, just make sure you actually share the video with them and get them to watch this video until the end. Welcome to Mountain of Inspiration. My name is Dimitri. This is the place where you can expect to see on a daily basis a dose of motivation and a dose of transformation. How? Through the eyes of history. Why? Simply because I believe that anything and everything that you and I are experiencing right now has been experienced to some degree by someone before us. And if you can take the time to identify, review, and then apply the lesson they've left behind for us, then we can save ourselves a great amount of time, a great amount of stress, a great amount of tribulation, and also in the process, just propel ourselves to the next level or the next dimension in our own growth journey. All right? And if you're a returning member to this growing tribe, welcome back. Thank you very much for your consistency. Thank you very much for all the likes. Thank you very much for all the shares. Thank you very much for all the things that you're doing around this channel to help us grow and to help us understand that we matter as a channel, and what we do is actually finding a lot of people are actually finding great value in what we do. All right. So thank you for all the great people out there. I have Judy Fisher. I have Vanessa by Design. I have a Legacy Moment. I have Mama Kimia TV, I have Dahlia MTV, I have Joel Amen TV, I have Keisha. All of you know who you are. Esther Royale, thank you very much for all the likes, for all the share, and for all the words of encouragement you've actually been sharing on this channel. All right? So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So as I was saying, anything and everything that you and I are experiencing right now has been experienced to some degree by someone before us. And if we can take the time to identify this lesson they've left behind, to review this lesson and apply this lesson, then we can save ourselves a great amount of time, and in the process also just propel ourselves to the next level. Let me just give you one basic example that I hope can resonate with whatever you're going through right now, and can help you understand that it's always possible to actually overcome anything that's in front of you and become a better and much stronger person than you believe that you are. All right? In 1961 in America, Captain Ernest C. Barnes, who was actually working in the Marines as a pilot, found himself in a very precarious position. After having fought many wars, after having conducted so many missions for the U.S. Army, he found himself in a position where at home, things were not exactly rosy, because he found himself in a place where there were a mounting pressure on him, so many bills coming to him, to come into his family, and not enough income to actually make things happen, to actually meet his financial obligations. So he kept going back and forth, trying to figure exactly how he was going to actually help things actually turn around for himself and his family. So he said to himself, and this is just a true story, so I'm not trying to make anything up. So he said to himself, at least I have a life insurance, and I'm married. So if anything happens to me, God forbid, at least my wife can actually be better off, because she's going to be able actually to have access to the life insurance, and with this money, she's going to be able to actually settle all these bills, actually meet all these financial obligations, have more than enough saved, so she can actually live a very comfortable life. So as a pilot, so as a U.S. pilot, still active, he said to himself, let me find a way to actually maybe not so much kill myself, but fake my own death, so that when the insurance will find out that I'm no longer here, they're going to actually be able to actually give the insurance money to my wife. So one day during training, It takes one of the fighting jet and it goes flying. And within a few minutes, it decided to actually stage an accident. So basically, it goes into a field and it crashed the airplane and it disappears and it goes missing. But unfortunately for him, as he goes missing, the army comes and conduct research and conduct investigation. After investigation, they found a suit somewhere that was actually hidden in the vegetation. So they said to themselves, so this guy is not exactly actually dead. So he's still alive. So we don't know why he actually staged his fake death, but he's still alive and this is fake news. So this man is alive, so we have to try to figure out exactly where he is. So eventually realized that, you know what, whatever he was actually trying to do was actually found out. It was found out that yes, what you were trying to accomplish as a fake death was not actually fake, because we know that you crashed the plane but intentionally, and we know you're still alive. So we know you're still out there somewhere. So eventually he ended up actually surrendering to the armies. So he was, of course, court-martialed, and he was, of course, found guilty. They say, you know what? We know that you staged the death. We know that you actually destroyed our property. So why did you do that? So after explaining himself, so they let him just walk away with just one count. And the count was, yes, he was actually found guilty of actually taking an unauthorized break from his service in the army. And shortly after that, he was dismissed. It was no longer to be an active member of the army. That was 1961. Come 1965, he said to himself, I still know how to fly jet. I still know how to fly airplanes. I still know how to actually fly around very dangerous situations. So he enlists to actually go work as a civilian in Vietnam. And somewhere around 1965, the plane he was actually flying actually crashes. He's actually captured as a civilian in Vietnam in 1965. So Captain Ernest after his capture as a civilian in Vietnam, they decided to actually make an example out of him. The Vietnamese decided to actually hold him captive in a bamboo cage for close to about 2 years. So about 2 years, this man who was actually flying as a civilian was actually held in a bamboo cage. So he said to himself, they are trying to break me, but I'm not going to let them break me. I'm going to actually rise far above the humiliation, the pain and the suffering they are trying to inflict on me on a daily basis. They are trying to break my spirit, but I'm going to try to find a way to actually find within me the strength to keep going and the strength to keep overcoming whatever they're going to be throwing at me on a daily basis. And guess what? So in the 2 years that he was actually held in confinement in the bamboo cage, he managed to actually escape. My goodness, can you imagine? You are in a bamboo cage, confinement for more than 2 years. But if during this time he finds a way to actually then outwit his captors and actually escape 2 times. So every time he would actually escape this bamboo confinement, he was actually beaten severely. But the third time he did that, the captor said to himself, you know what? This young man is trying to actually try us. He's trying to actually push us. So we're going to show him who the boss is around this camp. So they took him and they buried him under the ground. So everything was underground and the only thing that was visible was just the head. And guess how long they left him in that position? For 1 whole week. Because they said to themselves, if the beatings, if the confinement in the bamboo cage would not actually break his spirit, at least if we put him in this position where basically his whole body is buried, oh my goodness, his whole body is buried in the ground. His whole body is buried to the ground, and the only thing he can actually use is just his head. And can you imagine? Basically, you are in a position where the only thing visible is your head. And in this position, day and night, you can imagine what kind of bugs can be crawling over his head. What kind of animal could be just hovering around his head. What kind of craziness will be happening around his head. It will be in a position where he will not be able to respond to whatever bomb or whatever, I just name it, could be actually trying to fly or to walk around his head. He will not be in a position to respond or to fend off anything. They left in that position for 7 days. But Captain Ernest C. Bonds, after the 7 days when they actually dug him out, he was still resilient. He was still resilient. He still had fire in him. But as soon as he actually got out and tried to walk, he realized that after 1 week in the hole, his body that was deprived of movement would not be able to respond to this command. So basically, he lost command of his body from the waist down. And basically, he realized that right there and there that basically they had not broken his spirit, but they had broken his body to the point where his body was no longer responding to his mind. But undeterred, and completely still the same. The man say, you know what, you try to break my legs, you try to break my body, but I'm still going to actually use my mind to keep going. And guess what he started doing? He started using his elbow to actually move around until eventually they move him from that one particular camp and they move to the Hanoi, where they put him in a place with most of the American soldiers. And there, and he found the ways then from that position to start walking with his elbows, to actually get to the wall, hold on to the walls until eventually he was able to regain full control of his legs. But that's not it. When eventually the captains, they say to themselves, you know what, after all, this man is not an active member of the U.S. Army, so we're going to just let him go, we're just going to release him. He said, no, you've held me captive for all this time, and if you're going to let me go right now, I'm not going to go until and unless you also let go all these people behind me who are members of the U.S. Army. I am one of them, no matter what. I may not be an active soldier, but because these people are actually part of the same country, they are members of the same place where I come from. So if you're going to let me go, we all have to go together. So you can imagine the person is saying, you know what, after all I've endured all this time, I'm not going to go unless and until you let my people go. This was tremendous. Eventually, of course, all of them got released, got freed. He got back to America, and of course, he received the presidential pardon for everything that had happened before 1965. Why? Because after 8 years in that position, they managed to actually not just rebuild himself and find greater reservoir of strength, greater reservoir of resilience, and greater determination to not only actually lead a life and turn his life around and actually show what resilience can actually achieve in one's life, and also inspire everyone that was around him. And I say, my goodness, if this guy, a civilian, I mean, of course, he used to be a member of the army, but if this guy as a civilian was able to endure all this trials and tribulation and is still standing, if this guy, after they've tried to break his spirit on so many different occasions, is still standing, if this guy, after they decide to release him, is still willing to actually stay in this place with us, my goodness, we are encouraged, we are emboldened by his position, and we're going to stand our ground and we will not let anything break us. Why am I sharing you the story? Because at the end of the day, no matter how hard it gets for all of us, no matter how hard it gets for you, wherever you are, just keep in mind that there's always someone around you watching and actually gaining insight when it comes to how they can behave in this position. So if you break, you may think that you're breaking for yourself, but you're also breaking, and you're also breaking the spirit of the people around you. So you have to find a way to find reservoir of resilience and determination and keep going. Because if you break, you're going to break the spirit, and it's going to be a down movement that's going to actually be affecting many generations down the line. So no matter what, find a way to actually get back up, dance yourself up, and keep going. Because you know what, at the end of the day, you are a leader. You may be looking at yourself as a disgraced person, saying to yourself, my goodness, after all these years of hard work, after all these years of this and that, how is it possible? I'm still in this position. How come I'm still not where I'm supposed to be? It is okay. Captain Ernest C. Barnes, after all these years of service in the Army of America, he said to himself, why is it I'm not in a position where I can pay all this bills? Why is it I'm in a position where I'm forced to fake my own debt in order for my wife to actually cash on insurance? Why is it I am in this place? But eventually, when he was captured, he realized that, you know what, life is not so always about you. Sometimes it's also about the people around you. So he found a way then to become a source of inspiration and motivation for the people who almost at one point look down on him, because they say, if you're going to fake your own death in order for you to cash insurance money to actually pay for your bills, then you are less than a man. But this man that people told was less than a man became the source of motivation and inspiration in Vietnam. And up until now, if you were just to read this book, you're going to see that Captain Ernest C. Barnes is definitely someone we can all look up to as a great example of resilience and determination in hard times. All right? So no matter what's happening to you, just you owe it to yourself and to the people around you to keep going, because you know what? The child in you is looking to you. The children around you are looking to you. The people around you are looking to you. So whatever you move you're going to make sure it's a grand move, because these people are looking to you and they want to be encouraged by your position. They want to be encouraged by your resilience. They want to be encouraged by the next bold move you're going to make. No matter what, keep going, keep going, keep going. Quitting is not an option as far as you and I are concerned. We're going to keep going until we actually cause the day to actually eventually come, because you know what? The day at the end of the day is looking for people who can be bold in the midst of a trial and tribulation and simply say, you know what? Try me. I'll keep standing until the day breaks. So you owe it to yourself to keep going no matter what. All right? I'm going to stop here for now. But before I go, three things I'm going to kindly ask you to do. Oh my goodness, as I was about to wrap up, I just remember so much, I'll keep it for the next day. Thank you so much again for watching. Looking forward to sharing more with you. But before I go, three things I'm going to kindly ask you to do. Number one, please make sure you like the video. Number two, please make sure you leave a comment. And number three, of course, please make sure you share this video. And if you've not already done so, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that next time we put together a video, we publish the video, you can be marked the first one to see the video. All right? Resilience and determination is what you have to keep having in front of you. No matter what, keep going. The best is yet to come. Whoa!